we look at the weekly, nothing too considerable, I think, here. Tom, can you check railroads? UNP railroads look crazy. UNP. Yeah, well, I like railroad stocks. I mean, they're super boring, but they've notoriously done well over 100 years anyway. Did you know that the railroads have been like one of the best stocks to be in over 100 years? Most people don't know that. So if you go back and you're like back over here with your little $1.80 kind of railroad, this one only goes back to here. But look at that. That's an awesome return. Like, I know it doesn't seem like it, but I tell you what, I wouldn't mind 25,000%. Hell yeah. Yeah, you know what they say, rail freight is a very important thing to watch. In fact, if you actually have a look here and you go back to 2007, 8, so let's just overlay SPX on here for a second. If you might notice, rail freight actually continues to hold defensively while the market itself's getting thrashed, which is, I always find an interesting component of rail oftentimes into crashes is it actually holds for a little while. Some of them do. But yeah, very, very successful sector. It is actually breaking to the upside as well from what has been a 2022 high. It's been doing nothing for a while. And if you take a look, you got this kind of megaphone, as people call it, or whatever. Not that I like that pattern, but the main thing is, yeah, you can see this across quite a lot of different rails. I always remember this card. The Simpsons. Man, I haven't watched The Simpsons in, wow, must be a long time. Is it still going? 10, 15 years? 15 years for me? How long since you've watched The Simpsons? 10 years? 5 years? That just reminded me I haven't gone to the cinemas in a long time. Is Hollywood dead, guys? What are they making? The Avengers 25? Nothing compared to Micron last decade? Sure. But again, what is more predictable? And remember, we only went back to 1970s. If you go back all the way to railroads, you're going to get stuff. Plus, it's all here. I'd rather have consistent SIC gains, and this is not too bad. I mean, obviously, it's 18 to 50 and 16 to 80 into whatever $1,000. But you've got to also remember it came from $100 back over here. So, by the wrong time, you're getting thrashed when you compare it to the other ones. These charts, though, when you do look at this, I was looking at the review. That is not what I like either, guys. I got to say, 3 big ones. You might have heard it here before. 3 big monthlies. I'm telling you, there's something fishy. Something fishy. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know which angle it's going to be, but these semiconductor hardware stocks, the vol has been there for a month and a bit. I don't know. It doesn't smell good to me. Just so many big transactions floating all over the place. Giant great earnings. Don't get me wrong. The earnings are there. The markets are still intact. High highs, high lows. All good, all good. But I'm watching closely. I watched it when it first started and right through to having 3 children. Wow. You're a dedicated person to The Simpsons. I like that. Wow, that's cool. Cool, guys. I might watch South Park. I used to love that show. It's still pretty funny, I guess. It's a bit crazy now. Hello. Any thoughts about yen US dollar? Is this sustainable into Japan? It's not really sustainable, but it's been going for a long time. Will Japan do another rate hike? I suspect they will. And again, watching the dollar index this week, a lot of things could break around non-farm payrolls. Remember, it's going to be on Thursday as well, the non-farm payrolls. So that is the jobs numbers. So I guess to summarize at the moment, we've got kind of like, again, a couple of strong sectors. You've got healthcare and bio being the best sectors. You've got regional banks and banking being okay recently. You've got semiconductors extremely volatile, more of a day traders market. I mean, to me, it's kind of mayhem. And what I mean by that is I don't mind a good, like, daily 20 moving average. Me, I'm more of a position base. So I like a little bit of a daily 20 moving average. That's cool. Slash a trend. But I don't really like this intraday stuff. I feel like this is BitGambler. Or is this BitGambler, guys, when you're going up and down and all around? Because you might just say I'm buying and I'm going to get out and stuff. But I just feel like, when it's this volatile, you're better off being very precisionary. You want to be like a scalpel in the markets at the moment when you're talking about hardware. And Western Digital might be, or QCOM might actually be a really good case study for that, because what is going up is
des actions et des obligations. Votre portefeuille mérite mieux. Chez Macler, nous vous proposons une nouvelle façon de diversifier. Tandis que les grandes entreprises qui versent des dividendes offrent entre 4 et 6 %, nos investisseurs profitent de 14 %. Et en plus, recevez des paiements mensuels avec la précision suisse. Diversifiez votre portefeuille avec Macler.
MSTR is probably the storyline there in their bonds. And then we've got, and when I say MET, I mean it's just at a level of interest similar to gold. But the market all of a sudden opened up to abundance. I mean, there are so many things going on. It hasn't just been hardware and semiconductors like it was for 3 months. So for someone like you that actually pays attention to more than just semiconductors like everybody else is doing, that's pretty cool. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool week and a pretty cool month, actually. And I'm excited. I'm excited to take on the journey of this earnings. I think every earnings, I don't know if I've ever been more excited for the earnings. Probably not. Because to me, there's a certain level of interest here. And that is that at some point, something's going to be like, and you're going to go, because the margin is out of control. So, yeah, I mean, I love the boffins upgrading, and it's all good till it isn't. But I have a suspicion that we're going to get some very big results, whether it's this earnings or the next one or the one after, one of those three. And it is going to change the volatility landscape quite a lot. In China, chips are chips. So what is it? It's crisps in the UK. It's chips in Australia. We call both chips. So we call chips like fish and chips are literally just what you would call, I guess, fries in the US. Yeah, we're crazy. We just call both things chips. I mean, Australians don't know what they're doing. Just name two different things, the same thing. Why wouldn't you in the land of the down under? No news is good news. That's okay. I like that. Remember, here's a good one. Markets don't top when the news goes bad. It's when the news can't get any better. So I want to leave you with this question today. What can make hardware better than it currently is? So tell me this. What catalyst can drive us higher? I want a catalyst, guys. Put him in the chat. Let's get the catalyst, the smart big brains that you are. B. Smythe says, I would expect nothing less from a prison colony. We also have deadly snakes. South Africa is also both chips. Is that true? Did not know that. There you go, guys. I'm teaching you about chips. Corn crisps, tater crisps, or rice crisps. Is this like the UK thing? Do you really call it a Barbie or do you say BBQ? No, we really do call it a Barbie. That's true. I mean, some people now say they're going to use a barbecue, but no, it is generally Barbie. That is true. Now, does everyone put a shrimp on the Barbie? No, that's not necessarily true. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that, Americans out there or anyone else in the world. Mandatory neural implants. Yes, I could imagine that would push them up. Government investment. I feel like that is the one that I was thinking of as well. So government investment. Semis get better when AVGO and Marvel break the copper optical barrier inside of server racks. Okay, I like this one, Mark. Cool, thank you. It's see these guys, they know it's a Barbie for sure. Snag on the Barbie, that is true. I love these country talks. I do. I love it. I love it's like when I loved going to America and finding out how many different fast food chains you had and the fact that you just changed the burger sizing. One's square, one's circular, one's a hexagon. Quantum contracts through government. Yeah. Shrimps are too small to barbecue. No, people do it. It's just not as common as everyone thinks. Is Tom Lee right that legacy markets will all move to run 24/7? Yeah, I think so. Guys, if you're not aware, and I've actually heard a lot of people in America, because they don't have access to it, are not aware, it's terrific. Guys, we've moved to 24/7 markets. No. Why I say no is because I feel like it was kind of cool that stocks were still closed on the weekend. But now, yep, perps are everywhere and 24/7 markets are coming. And yes, I think we're going to be moving into a 24/7 market ultimately. I mean, obviously, trade volume will be way lower on weekends, but yeah, I don't see how it's not a thing that's going to happen. I mean, it's it's going to take a long time to implement, but I mean, you think about it, the easy stat here I'll leave you with is a really crazy stat, and it's really insane. If you look at a chart, and the chart is you buy the open, and then you hold, you make like this much money. So do you go up? Yeah, you do. But if you buy the close and you hold the overnight risk, the markets are, well, it's actually way more like this. So it's so crazy, the return difference, because you've taken the risk overnight. So the market's like, it's completely chalk and cheese. Over here, you've got a little bit of gains. Over here, you've got huge gains. And the 24/7 market, guys, do you like this? The 24/7 market. Welcome to the midnight margin calls. Yeah, and that's why I've thought about this for years. I already knew it was going to come. We all did. You know it was going to come. And even when I was designing the structure of the systems that we have in our courses, I had to design them around. I designed them around being from the land down under. Which, remember, the idea is that you can go to sleep and not be freaking out. You don't want to be like risk managed badly because you'll be in big trouble. So really the 24/7 market already prepared. However, I do think that it's going to freak a lot of traders and investors out. Gives an option to get out when the dark pool's selling you. That's true. That's true. They won't let you short stocks overnight, but they'll just some weird market will then create one. You know what I mean? That's what like I didn't think you could bet on the certain things that you can nowadays, but it seems like that's happened. When the good news can't get any better, guys. When the good news can't get any better, you're going to trade with neural nets in your head. All right. So anyway, the summary for today is yes, markets are up a little bit. Yes, we're in that 4th of July week. So obviously the week of the long weekend. And that tends to bring with it a little bit more positivity into markets. If we do look at the Qs, they did hit into that 705 area last week, which makes sense because we talked about the puts that tend to sit between 705 and 700. The markets are rallying off that. Is it real? I tend to suspect that we're stuck in a range for a bit here, so be careful, guys. could be a bit choppy. And then earnings in 2 weeks. So we're going to, of course, get to see that. Abundance, lots of different sectors, lots of things that are really coming to some certainly interesting areas. I think that the abundance is alive and well in markets. So I hope you enjoy that. And also just want to say thank you so much for watching. It's great to have you here. You're all very, very talented people, I've got to say, because I've met a lot of you and damn, some big brains, higher IQ than me out there, that's for sure. But just because we have tons of Einsteins in the chat doesn't mean that we can take our foot off the pedal. Constantly learn, constantly evolve and improve. And you may see if you've watched the show over time, we just slightly nuance things every so often. Out with the old, in with the new, maybe 7-10 different reasons you like. Maybe sometimes it becomes time to kick one of those out. Adapt or die. That's a really bad comment to leave on. But anyway, we will catch you guys. Have a great one. We'll see you at the close of today. Bye for now. See ya.